Okay, fight fans, fight fiends, welcome back to Manny's Thoughts. I, of course, Manny MTL or Manny Montreal. Make sure to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and of course, thefightcity.com. As usual, I'll give you guys my thoughts on what's going down in the world of combat sports. Let's get started. Okay guys, welcome back. Before I get started, I just want to point something out. Guys, please watch the end of this video. I'm going to add a couple of different special things, stuff that should be mentioned. So please pay attention to it. Even if you don't like me, skip to the end and watch the end. So now, on with the show. Congratulations are due. Congratulations to the Groupe Yvon Michel team. Another great night of fights here in the Fight City at the Casino de Montreal Thursday night. They had a few issues with getting opponents. One of the fights was actually cancelled. Poor Shaquille Finn unfortunately did not get to fight. However, the rest of the fights were fun. I did get a bit of sad news at the end. We'll get to that. So first up, congratulations, Terry Osias. Beautiful body work. Also, congratulations, Christian Mbili. This kid is a star in the making. Louis-Hubert Altidore, beautiful knockout win, knockout of the night, and quite honestly, I think the most underrated fighter here in Montreal. Dario Bradishian, doing what Dario does. Beautiful stuff from him. His brother will be fighting this week. We'll talk on that a little later. Make sure to check out the video I got with the interview of them on this channel. Last but not least, congratulations, Albert Onulos. I hope I'm saying his name right. He beat Frank, the people's champ, Francis Lafreniere. A few of his fans came up to me afterwards and asked me to do a video on how he got robbed, but I can't do it. He didn't get robbed. I hate to break everyone's heart, but Albert beat Frank. Now, should they fight again? Absolutely. Because I don't think that was the best Frank. He seemed dry and have a bit of a slow start. And then there's a lot of other factors that are involved. The referee he was given was brought in from the States. And she's a terrific referee, Sparkle, if you know her. But I don't think it suited Frank's style all that much. And quite honestly, Albert studied Frank. Now, we were all expecting the same thing to go down for Francis Lafreniere, for him to just, eventually drown his opponent somewhere in the later rounds. But this was a 10-rounder, and maybe Frank would have needed 12 rounds. But, beautiful fight, Albert. Hopefully Frank gets back on the bike, and it's kind of disheartening at this point in his career. Personally, I think that his promoters have done a pretty piss-poor job since the Saint-Just fight. I think it's 2 years that they wasted with him. The type of fighter that he is, he's got a very short lifespan, a short shelf time, so you can't fight him too much, and when you do fight him, you need to make sure that it's significant. And after that Saint-Just fight, he could have made some demands, but now we're in a completely different position. On with the congratulations. Congratulations, Danny Connor, the fireman from Boston, put out the fire in the dragon. Now the WBC silver super lightweight champion, winning the fight 97-92 by 2 scores and 96-93 by 1. Claggett did score a knockdown, big 6th round for him, but the rest of the fight seems to have gone Danny Connor's way. Congratulations, Danny Connor. Also, congratulations, Jose Carlos Ramirez. 22-0, 16 KOs, the WBC Super Lightweight Champ. To talk about him facing the Rougarou next, quite honestly, I think Yves Ulysses mops the floor with the last 3 names I just mentioned. Now, before I head into what's going on and what we can watch, I do want to point out 2 matchups I would really like to see. Why not give us Yves Ulysses versus Danny O'Connor? Yves Ulysses is ranked in the WBC. Danny Connor is now ranked 10th. Danny Connor's team is with Spike O'Sullivan, Murphy's Boxing. Eye the Tiger has had dealings with them. They understand each other. They know each other. It could very easily happen. ESPN kind of has a deal with Golden Boy, so who knows? Maybe that could actually happen. That would be a terrific fight for Eve Ulysses. Like I said, he mops the floor with him. Great fighter though. No disrespect to Danny O'Connor, but Eve Ulysses is the shit. Now, another fight I would love to see, seeing how Francis might be going back to the drawing board. If he doesn't rematch Albert Onulos, I am calling for Patrice Vicious Volny to face Albert Onulos. Patrice Volny is just a beast. He's young, and to be honest, I don't think Onulos has that much kick, and I don't see him beating Frank again, so I definitely don't see him beating Patrice Volny. So as far as what's going down on the Fight City and thefightcity.com, great articles and posts on the daily for you guys to check out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. The Fight City is everywhere. Make sure to check them out. Now, as far as what's going down in the actual Fight City here in Montreal, news-wise, there's only been two things going on related to boxing. Arthur Beterbiev seems to have been snubbed for Kovalev. Marcus Brown had a chance to make a purse bid versus Arthur Beterbiev and his IBF belt today, this afternoon. However, he decided to no-show, seeing as how he's going to be taking a fight against Kovalev. I don't blame him. I would pick Kovalev over Beterbiev any day, and should he beat Kovalev, he can come back and try and fight Beterbiev, and maybe we can unify some titles, so I'm all for it. At the end of this episode, I'm going to put up a little video, some pictures and stuff of a missing kid here in Montreal. And the reason I'm bringing it up right now in the news section is because for all the times I've been taking a dump on Adonis Stevenson in recent months, I am still not happy with his conduct in the boxing world. However, on the outside, I gotta give it to him. There's a missing kid here in Montreal. He's been missing for a week. It's a very strange and peculiar story. The whole city here is gripped to it. We're listening about it every day. And a lot of us feel powerless to do anything. And Adonis Stevenson made things a little bit better by adding $15,000 to the already $10,000 reward for any information regarding the return of this young man. Like I said, watch the end of the video. I'm going to put all the details up. Here's the thing. Kudos to Adonis Stevenson, because this isn't the first time. Yes, it's the first time he does something like this publicly, and I think it's the right time because you need news. You know, they took the Amber Alert off, and the news was already starting to talk less about it, despite the fact that they got no fucking information about where this kid is. And Adonis Stevenson doing this and putting it out there puts it back in the news, so kudos to him for that. But I do want to point out to all of you that I know for a fact that he does a lot of stuff on the side, and he doesn't put his name on it. And it's not about him trying to get publicity, which I get. Personally, I think every now and then somebody should leak some of the stuff that he does. Look, I'll tell you a story I know personally. Here in Quebec City, when he fought... I forget who he fought. I forget if it was Fanfara. But anyways, he fought someone in Quebec City. And I do my thing. I walk around the ring. I walk around the stadium. I'm basically everywhere. I really like getting a feel for the room. And I was walking past a spot where they let photographers take pictures, which is kind of midpoint in the stands. And near there is kind of the spot where they put all the wheelchairs and, handicap-assisted seating and whatnot. And there was a large group of kids who were clearly disabled. And one of their monitors there. And I was just pleased that there was a bunch of young kids here to watch boxing. So I walked up to the monitor. I said, wow, this is really cool. I can't believe there's this many young fans here. And the guy said to me, you know what's crazy? He goes, these kids are all from Montreal. I go, wow. Now, for those of you that don't know that, that's 2 hours away from here. So I go, oh, that's really cool. He goes, the champ drove us up in a limo. I'm looking. There's like 20 kids there. I'm like, a limo? It's like, well, a couple limos. He rented a bunch of limos. He grabbed all the kids and he brought them here to the fight. Adonis Stevenson, I fucking hate you sometimes, but god damn it. Good on you for watching out for that kid. Watch the end of the video. We're going to have more on that. Alright, on to some more pleasant news. What can we watch this weekend? Thursday, Golden Boy Promotions, ESPN 2, ESPN 3, ESPN Deportes, which means TSN will be showing curling here. Golden Boy is in Indio, California. The NABF Junior Super Flyweight titles on the line. The kid that everyone's got a hard on for, Ryan Garcia, 13-0, 12 KOs. By the way, I am not big on him. Versus Fernando Vargas. A bunch of young undefeated fighters on that card. Make sure to tune in. It's the only thing going on Thursday night. Friday the 23rd from the Heavyweight Factory in Hollywood, Florida. Young versus Caballo. I know you're sitting there and you're going, why are you talking to me about this fight? Well, here's the thing. Really interesting thing for me. It's sneaking under the radar for most of the boxing, journalists out there. Roberto Duran Jr. Not the first junior, the second junior. So it's Roberto Duran Jr. the third, I think. I'm not entirely sure. He's got two sons named Roberto. One of them they nicknamed Chavo, who fought in the 70s and 80s. I think he's got a record of 5-1 with 2 KOs, and that was it for him. He wasn't much of a boxer, but he gave it a shot. I know nothing about this young Duran boy other than his dad's Roberto Duran. He's making his pro debut on this card. I have no idea if we're going to be able to find it, but trust me, if you stick to my social media pages and I find a way to watch it, I will share it with you. Roberto Duran Jr. the third. Saturday in Toronto, Steve Rolls, Kristen Prenga, Will Maderna, Zoltariani, all in action. Make sure to check that out if you're in Toronto. Here in Montreal, a little closer to home, Grant Brothers is back at La Tahu. Main eventing, as things should have been 2 years ago. Golden Garcia, undefeated young prospect. I've always liked this kid. Here's hoping his promoters and sponsors have figured out a way to make sure he's not working 60 hours a week as an electrician, because he is fucking talented. And hopefully somebody picks him up and backs him a little bit more. Also on the card, Rudy Pierre-Paul, always fun to watch. Local fight. Not crazy about them, but sometimes they need to happen. I like both these guys as usual. They both got their reasons to be able to win. They both got their reasons to need to win. It's a pretty big fight. Jordan Balmier versus Frank Catroni. Frank's a machine. If he shows up and he's ready, if he's hungry right now, Jordan might have a tough night on his hands. Jordan's a young prospect. He's undefeated. He needs to make short work of Frank in order to prove himself. So it's going to be a very tough fight. Also on that card, young sensations, Bruno Berdyshin and Mo Sumaoro. If you don't know these names, do yourself a big favor right now and Google them. Trust me, these are two names I'd say approximately 2 years from now, everybody else will be dick writing. Also on that card, little notables, one of our buddies here at the Fight City, Vincent Morin, stepping back in the ring. He's only had one pro fight. He's doing this to just get it out of his system. I don't blame him. He truly loves the sport, and I'm happy somebody was able to find room for him on the card. He's going to do a little 4-rounder. It's technically against one of his own cousins who he's never met. So it's kind of interesting. Check it out. Last but not least on that card, making his pro debut. I think like 3 years ago I said this kid should make his pro debut, that his style is not suited for the amateurs. He's too much of a show. He needed to go pro. Adam Danger Ayubi, I wish him the best of luck. I will be watching. It should be on Facebook. I think some of the fights will be on Facebook. The rest of it will be on the Fight TV app. I don't know how much they charge for that, but check it out if you're interested. Also going down Saturday, Golden Boy Promotions is in Puerto Rico in co-promotions with Miguel Cotto, ESPN. On that card, Zachary Ochoa. He's fighting a guy who's got a 7-1 record. Let me point out, Zachary Ochoa is 18-1. That one coming from Eve Ulysses. And he's fighting a guy who's 7-1. It's a 6-rounder. I don't get it. But it is what it is. Saturday, before I finish up with Saturday, going down into Russia. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This man will travel to fight anywhere. The real deal. Ryan Ford, 14-1, 9 KOs, gets another big shot. Going down in Russia, the WBA Intercontinental strap is on the line versus Andrei Sirotkin. He's 14-0. I don't know much about him, but he better show up ready because Ryan will deal with that shit. Now, as far as Saturday's concerned, we got one last major fight to talk about going down in the UK, London at the O2. Dylan White versus Lucas Brown for the WBC Silver. More than likely, the winner of this will end up facing Deontay Wilder because I got a feeling Wilder Joshua is not going to happen anytime soon. However, it's an interesting heavyweight fight, and make sure to tune in. We got a major heavyweight fight next week to check out. So that's it for me this week. Before I let you go, I got 3 things to talk about. First off, go check out my Patreon page. I'm working very hard, and I want to try and keep this going, so anything you guys do will help. Thank you very much. Secondly, Quebec lost a warrior this week, and after 10 months in a coma, I guess he finally gets to rest in peace. I'm happy he's not suffering, and I recognize the fact that Mr. Witham, Dave, made in hell Witham, wasn't going to be a world champion or making it into the Hall of Fame. But as far as the fighters here are concerned, everyone is touched. The guys that have trained with him, the guys that have been cornered by him, the guys that have fought him, everyone this guy is touched is better off for it. He's got a young son. If I find some sort of link for a GoFundMe or anything of that sort for their family, I'll make sure to throw it up. Go ahead and send them your thoughts and prayers and well wishes on Facebook. Good people. It's a sad story. Rest in peace. Now last, this young man named Ariel who's gone missing here in Montreal. I'm going to throw up the information. Again, a big thank you to Adonis Stevenson for trying to move things along. I don't know. I have no idea if it'll help, but who knows, if it does, it does. That's it for me this week. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and all that other good stuff. I'll see you guys next week.